Hello, guys. How are you doing? I see I'm streaming live. Hi, guys. We are up. It's a new day, and you normally need to face the new day with courage, and hope, and the willingness to work with it. So today, I have with me our favorite coach, relationship coach, Londi. And today we're going to touch a bit on something that we are preparing a workshop for in terms of enabling couples and relationships to thrive, be present, be intentional, be conscious. And this comes up when we normally see people in coaching, people in their healing journey, especially having experienced what we're going to be talking about today. So before I introduce the topic, welcome Coach Londi.
Hi. It's been forever.
It's been a month, I think.
Yeah, it feels like such a long time.
And you look like you're in summer, and I'm like recovering from flu, all sorts of things. Yeah.
Oh,
And you are
darling, move
just
to the boonies. Some of us are on some summer, you will find me there.
I know you are alive. Actually, you're alive in abundance. You know the best.
No, I also had my scare with the flu, and we also had to do the whole taking care and recovering thing. So these days we are on some live each day to the fullest. If the sun comes out, go out and play with the sun.
True. I'm feeling like that. Between me and the boys, it's just been uphill, but I think we are almost there. We're almost there, so I'm happy. Just to touch on our sensitive topic for today, how we miss the signs of infidelity when we look back and realize 3 years ago this has been happening, 4 years ago this has been happening, and sometimes continuously happening. So when we finally find out, we're feeling, of course, the back foot of knowledge, but also of the reality that we thought we were living, which is no longer real, which is no longer aligned to who we thought we were with. So, Coach, I just want you to start with the how do we miss the signs, or why do we miss the signs?
Wow. Okay. Well, hello everyone, and thank you again for having me, Coach. And thank you for actually just allowing us the time to speak on this very relevant matter, especially now where we have been in such close proximity and the environment and the season of life has allowed us to be exposed to things that we normally would not have been exposed to. So when we're speaking into how do you miss the signs? How do you not know that your partner is being unfaithful to you? I want us to think of relationships and consider, and I always like using the principle of and the analogy of going on a journey or going on a trip. So when you go on a journey, you are very deliberate about the vehicle, number one, that you are going to choose. And when you choose your vehicle to journey with, you base your judgment on the qualities of the vehicle to deliver efficiency, to deliver quality, and to also determine the duration of how long will you be able to travel in this vehicle on your journey. And so when we come to vehicles, we come to relationships, there's this thing of thinking that the rules of life don't apply in how we relate as people and how we engage in our intimate relationships. For some reason, you decide that I want to be on a journey and I need a vehicle, and you want the vehicle to figure out what your journey is about. And you want the vehicle to figure out the type of efficiency you are after and the type of quality you are after. So number one, we miss the signs because we don't become deliberate about, number one, the journey. We don't become deliberate about the destination, and we don't become deliberate about the vehicle, which is now the union. We don't become deliberate about the union itself apart from the individuals. So that's the first way that we miss the signs. And then on the second thing, when you go on a journey and you've decided on your vehicle, you gain a level of trust. You depend on the vehicle and you allow the vehicle to do, and you trust the features that you have chosen it for and the qualities that it has. In a relationship, we don't want to trust the people we are relating with completely. We don't want to allow the relationship itself to do and to unfold and to take form that allows us to be served in our journey. So the first thing, if you are in a situation of getting into a relationship, or you are now getting at that time where things have been exposed that you were not aware of, deliberately choose and decide what is the purpose of this vehicle. Think of your relationship as a vehicle and give it a purpose. An airplane, a car, a scooter, all of those things serve the same purpose. So a relationship will always be a relationship, which is to aid you in travel. The efficiency, the quality, and the amount of time and effort and your level of awareness is dependent on the purpose that you give this unit, which is now the vehicle that you are going to be using. So if your relationship does not have a purpose, you will not be able to rate and measure and see how far am I. You won't be able to say, okay, now it's time for a U-turn. You will have no consciousness and no awareness of what's going on, because really there is no purpose to serve. So that's the first thing.
Whoa, coach. This purpose, this what you call it, the vehicle. Coach, when do we even get to discuss that? We are in love.
And the beautiful thing about being in love, coach, the beautiful thing about being in love, coach, is that biology only does its work for a couple of years. 3 years at max, and the feelings have faded. So you now are conscious. You can no longer be blaming the hormones, because the hormones are not designed to last forever. And that is to assist and aid us into now functioning and working together and deliberately using the relationship as the vehicle for our growth. So the most empowering thing you can do for yourself is to decide to give your relationship the purpose, which is to aid you in your growth and your evolution as a human being. That will simplify so many things.
From what I'm hearing, coach, it's if we don't take the time to invest in our, and you've said this before, that we know how to do everything else, or we desire to learn how to do everything else except being in relationships. And until we come to terms with investing in who we are as individuals and into who we supposed to be in the relationship, we're still gonna find ourselves missing each other and finding these unnecessary situations we create, entanglements, that either hurt us, hurt the people we're with, hurt our families, and you know. So, coach, I have this one question. Is there and this is a very deep one. If I wake up 3 years realizing my partner has been cheating on me for the last 3 years or 4 years, if I want to know why, right? Because the first thing is wanting to know what happened. What did I do anything or did I not do anything? What is really, coach, the real why, even though maybe there are lies in between?
That's very interesting, and like you're saying, it's very deep. So I'm going to first make a request to the person that is really deeply interested and is willing to go deep with us on this next question, because this is the difference between what will transform your relationships going forward, or what will keep you where you don't want to be anymore. And you are right when you're saying it's deep, but it's not complicated at all. It's deep because it requires you to be deliberate and to be present and to be aware, and most importantly, to be willing to look in the mirror. I'm going to go back to my car. It's the simplest thing, and I love using the car because we are so invested in our cars and we are so familiar with our cars that we know them inside out. You can feel a car when it's not doing when it's not performing in the way that it's supposed to be serving you properly. So that's why I always use this analogy, because it's one that I believe that we can all relate to with ease. So when you're thinking of the car, one of the things, in order for the car to successfully serve its purpose in delivering you to your destination, is for you to be able to trust and to look at what one of the features of the car is mirrors. You got a whole 3 of them. One of the things you need to do is be able to look in the mirror and see what the mirror is showing you. When you look into any one of the mirrors in a car, you don't look with an intention and a mindset, Yoguti, I want to see this particular thing. You are saying, I want the mirror to expose to me what is there that I am unaware of. That's what you look for in the vehicle, in the mirrors of the vehicle. You look and you trust and you deliberately look for what is there that you are not aware of. Same thing in your relationship. Allow the state and not the status of the relationship. The state of the relationship, meaning the well-being, the health of the relationship, meaning the quality of the bonds, the quality of the intimacy, meaning the quality of the communion, the quality of the proximity between you and your partner. That quality, that mood of a relationship, allow the state of the relationship to show you and to expose to you what is there that you may not be aware of, so that you can successfully navigate yourself to where you want to be. That's all it takes. We just need to have the willingness to look in the mirror and see what's there, not what we are hoping to see, not what we are secretly wishing for. You secretly may wish for the truck to not be right next to you so that you cannot overtake. But when you look at the mirror and the truck is there, you navigate according to what the mirror is showing you. Same thing in the relationship. Use the quality and the state and the mood of the relationship to expose to you what you are unaware of, so that you can make decisions. Your decisions will shape your destiny. Your decisions will shape the quality of your life, so that you can make decisions that will propel your relationship and yourself in the direction that you want.
Whoa. Back up. Pick it up.
I'm going deep.
No, coach. You just said there's the status of the relationship and there's the state of the relationship. Go deeper, Papa. Go deeper.
Hey, okay. So there's the status of the relationship. This thing that causes so much havoc and so much headache and drama for people. The relationship status. For some of us, because according to the world, our category is not there. So we depend mostly on the state of the relationship, because my category on the list of relationship status has not been invented yet. So we rely on the state of the relationship. So the status of the relationship, this is the stuff that allows us to expose ourselves to our codependency and our insecurities. Because there are people who become addicted, because codependency is all about addiction. It revolves around addiction. So there are people who become addicted to a relationship status. There are people, hence you find people who just cannot be alone. They always wanting to be in a relationship. They always wanting to be in a situationship. It's complicated. There are people who always want to be in a relationship status to define how they are relating with other people according to the proximity. Are we close enough to call ourselves being in a relationship? Are we close enough to call ourselves being in an it's complicated? So you use the proximity of your relating to define the status of the relationship. When we're talking about the state of the relationship, the proximity is not the only and the most important factor in a relationship, because we depend highly on communion and we depend highly on intimacy. So we have transcended the state of wanting to be in close proximity. We then take this proximity thing to another level to say, let us get acquainted in mind, let us get acquainted in body, let us get acquainted in language, let us get acquainted in spirit, let us get acquainted in every part of who we are, because our state is our well-being. So you involve all of you, your completeness, even if you consider yourself 50%, but you bring the complete 50%, you bring the complete half. If you consider yourself a half, you bring the completeness of who you are at that time. Then you're acting on the state of the relationship, because the state of the relationship will then be the state of your own personal well-being. And there you have more control in the direction of your relationship.
Coach, listen. Yo. When we love more the status of the relationship versus the investment in the state of the relationship, something normally of ramps very urgently, immediately.
And let
Last
me tell you
question.
what off-ramps.
Yes.
While we're talking about it, for clarity's sake, because now you've diverted your attention, and attention and your energy is now going, when you're too invested on the status of the relationship, you abandon the most important person to you in the relationship, which is yourself. You abandon yourself and you focus all your time and your energy in this status, the togetherness. So as long as we are together, it's worth it. Whatever, as long as we are together. And when you are in there, it's complicated. You are focused on the complications so that you honor the status of your relationship. Hello. So everything you do in that relationship, you completely abandon your own abilities and your own skills, which are a key. Let's go back to the car. The car will remain a car. A Mercedes-Benz on the dealer floor and a Mercedes-Benz on the road. The car is the car. The value and the efficiency and the quality is only valuable when it meets the skill of the driver. So when you are taking yourself and your skills and your abilities and your uniqueness out of the equation, and you are putting all your attention in the status, that's the off-ramp.
Yeah. Wow. Coach, thank you. Your analogy for me, number one, I'm not confused. I'm very aware of the dealership floor and the skill of the driver, which is normally us. The last question I want to ask you is, once this realization has come to pass, now we know, now we see and have the eyes of now with insight and hindsight. What is the best way to walk through that forgiveness journey? Just a bit, because that will be in the workshop. Just a bit.
Okay. So forgiveness always starts with clarity. Clarity of mind, clarity of consciousness, it's just in its entirety, forgiveness is about the elevation of consciousness. So it needs to start with your number one, appreciation for your level of awareness now. And then in any situation, you need to then bring yourself, recognize the fullness of who you are. You have been neglecting your abilities and the way you are showing up and the way your navigation skills. So you took your navigation skills out the window and you depended mostly on external stuff outside of yourself. So the first part when it comes to forgiveness is a return to you. You return to yourself and you cease, you like put the brake on self-abandonment. Because the truth of the matter is, infidelity is a reflection and a measure of your level of self-abandonment. If you are able to miss things, it is what it is. What are you missing about yourself? That person has now displayed to you that there's something you're not paying attention to. And you were, listen, we can we can outsource and we can delegate a whole lot of things in life. You cannot delegate your own level of your awareness and your own level of self-love. People will love you, they will honor you, they will support you no higher than the level at which you do it to yourself. So if in your relationship you completely abandon your needs, you completely abandon your skills, you completely abandon the wholeness of who you are, the state of the relationship, which will always trump the relationship status, the state of the relationship will expose that. And it will expose it not only to you, but to whoever has enough awareness and has enough proximity to you. So forgiveness is all about a process of returning. I call it the resetting, literally pushing the reset button on your self-identity, because life will only produce the quality that matches how you identify yourself and how you feel about yourself.
Wow, Coach, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm looking forward to the workshop. Thank you. Closing words, closing words, closing words.
Okay, so in closing, let me just summarize this whole thing. So in your relationship, be sure that number one, you are deliberate in choosing the qualities. Get out of the habit of figuring people out and wanting to be figured out. Telepathy, not a strategy in relationships, doesn't work. Get rid of that one. Number two, give your relationship a purpose in your personal growth and evolution. Allow your relationship to use it has features in the same way that a car has features to assist you in getting the quality of travel that you want. Relationship, unit, being with another person, it has features in there that will allow you to improve the quality of your life experience. Trust and be in communion and be deliberate and be awake to what you are doing. And number three, get familiar with the entity that is the relationship. Get familiar with the person that you are relationshiping with. And of course, always know that all of it boils down to you. You will always only ever be expressing yourself in a relationship. You may try to imitate other people, but it'll only be for so long. And that's why you end up in relationship trouble. And then lastly, express your skills. Learn. You know, we are so good as human beings at doing things once we decide that we are doing something. That's why people find it so hard to leave jobs they hate, because they become so good at doing the stuff that they hate. So we become good. Yeah. So we become good. We know for sure that we are very thorough and we are very good at getting things done and doing things. So make sure that you focus deliberately on the stuff that you want to be good at, and you get good at navigating your relationship
Yeah.
towards its success. And your presence is the ultimate gift that you can give your relationship, that you can give yourself, and that you can give your partner. So be present, be present, be present, be present, be present.
I'm looking forward to the workshop. I'm hoping the details will come in shortly. Thank you for your time.
Yes, always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Bye.